Hi guys, welcome to the Pilates Wheel. If you are looking at me right now, chances are you pulled it out of the box, you just got it, you're all excited, you got all these parts in front of you and you said, now what? So I'm Mr. Now What. I'm going to teach you how to put this together, how to operate it proficiently and efficiently, and how to get started with your Pilates wheel regimen, okay? So the first thing I want to do is just talk about a couple of warnings before we get started. Please remember, before you start this or any other exercise regimen, you do want to consult your physician. Make sure you're ready to go with this stuff. Pilates is very low impact. It's a great way to train, but you want to know that you're physically ready and able, okay? Also, this is a fitness apparatus. Like any other fitness apparatus, it can cause injury if it's misused or if it's not used as instructed. So please follow the instruction. Make sure you follow the instruction at the level that you are capable of. It's very important that you are kind of your own manager in terms of how you use this product. Please don't let children play with it or use it. It can be dangerous. Store it away when you're done using it, and we'll all be good to go. We'll all be safe. We want you to be safe. All right, so let's get rolling and talk about how to do this. All right, it's pretty simple. All right, the first thing we want to do is we want to take this little knob here. It's got some threads on it with a little spring-loaded pin on the end of it, and all we want to do is go ahead and screw that in to each side of our wheel. We're going to screw it in until it's nice and snug right there. It doesn't have to be too tight, just snug. Make sure that axle is either, or this pressure plate is either in the full upright position or the full down position before you put that in, all right? And then you'll be locked out. So we're going to put both those on real quick, or semi-quick. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take these couplers and we're going to slide them over the top of our foot bar. This is our foot bar, okay? This will be a very important part of your wheel right here. You're gonna have a lot of attachment to this. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to line the wheels up on this axle, this foot bar, and we're going to run it in and line it up with the wheels on our hub. This should fairly easily, if you get it right down deep inside there, should fairly easily screw in. You'll screw tighten it with, finger tighten it till it stops moving. And we go to the other side and we do the very same thing, okay? Make sure those holes are lined up. You may have to push that foot bar in a little deeper than you would think, and then it should finger tighten up pretty easily. Then it's going to take a little bit of time. So you and I will just hang out together for a minute while I screw these down tight. Okay, got that one? See if I can do this a little bit faster. Okay, so now it's tightened down nice and snug. Everything should operate. These should not roll real freely, but they should spin, and they should spin fairly evenly. So check everything, check for tightness, check and make sure your knobs are pretty snug. Check your tightness of your screws. Make sure these are screwed down nice and tight. This is the only connection that your hub has to your foot bar, so I want to make sure they're real good, okay? This coupler, this is what you're going to use to attach your resistance bands to, okay? So I'm going to grab those up and I'm going to show you kind of the 3 or 4 common positions that you are going to have when you are connecting to the foot bar. This is the yellow band, the lightest band of the 3 bands that you may have in here. This is going to be the one you use most commonly. And on this band, the way we connect to our coupler is via this carabiner, okay? This is a spring-loaded mechanism, and it very simply, if you just push it down with your elbow and you hook it into the coupler, you are hooked in, okay? There are 2 ways you're going to use this. One is in this fully extended position, but another way you'll use it very often is you'll slide this handle over the top. This is our grip handle, and then we'll slide the other carabiner onto the same tab on our coupler. So it looks kind of like this, all right? The other way we're going to use it is we're going to end up extending it fully, and we'll end up putting our handle on the end this way. Got it? All right. There's also a foot loop, which you'll use quite often. The foot loop is just a loop of nylon, stitched. Very simple, kind of soft. There's a little bit of a trick to getting this onto our coupler. What we want to do when we do this is we want to fold this in half, this foot loop, and give it a little bit more density. And then we're just going to slide it into the foot loop, into the carabiner, excuse me, and it should look like this, okay? The carabiner should be fully closed. Make sure that it closes fully and that your foot loop is on securely. You do it the same way to get it off. You take that foot loop and you just slide it through the carabiner, okay? The other resistance bands that you have, the blue resistance bands, will be used quite the same way as the yellow bands. The red band, which is a longer band, is usually going to be connected to both sides, excuse me, of the Pilates wheel. So we'll just hook up very simply like that. Okay, looks like that. Great. All right, now we are going to get into looking at our staff and our anchor system. Hey guys, just wanted to let you know, if you purchase the Pilates wheel after October 2020, your Pilates anchor bar looks like this, one piece, versus the two that you're about to see. No worries, they work exactly the same. Let's set this to the side for just one moment. And we are going to start to talk about our anchor system. Okay, you're going to use this in a couple of different ways. But right now I just want to teach you how to anchor to any fixed or hard object. Very often you're going to use this under a door. That is probably the most common and easiest way to anchor your system. And the way to do that, the easiest and best way to do that, is to take a dumbbell like this. This way you have something where this strap cannot slide off. You're going to bring it underneath, okay? And you're going to loop it through until it's tight. All right? We will take that, we'll slide it under a door, and hopefully that door closes towards you or it has a deadbolt on it. Don't use it on a door that opens out towards you, okay? So this is going to be behind the door. That's going to anchor into the door, and then you can use your anchor system very, very efficiently and very, very safely. All right? What I'm going to do for our purposes today is I'm going to anchor to this system that we have here in our studio. And I'm just going to shorten this up a little bit by twisting it around a few times so it works best for us. And then again, I'll loop it through. So you can hook this to any fixed object, anything that weighs probably 150 pounds or better and doesn't slide. You just want to make sure it's very safe and it's not going to move from its position. You always want to anchor low into the floor. You never anchor above about 2 or 3 inches off the floor. Always keep it next to the floor, okay? Now we're going to bring our staff back into position and we're going to break it down. So we're going to just take this and unscrew it. So remember guys, if you can unscrew it, you can screw it back together. It's pretty simple. When you screw it back together, you want to make sure that you tighten it up enough that these rings all line up. See these D-rings right here, these clips, okay? These anchor clips, they all need to be lined up straight, but they should do that pretty easily. We're going to keep the half that has the 3 connectors on it, okay? We're going to set this one to the side right now. All right, so we are going to take the one side that only has one connector, and we're going to connect that to our anchor strap. That's number 1. Then we're going to take these 2 little straps you found in your box. These are called extender straps, okay? We are going to take the carabiners and we're going to put them on either end of the connector on our anchor bar, okay? Real simple like that. So let me get this out of the way. This will come back into place soon. All right. Then we're going to take these yellow straps or our blue straps. Usually it's going to be one of the 2. And we're going to connect that into our extender. All right. It looks fairly long through here. It looks like, well, that's a lot of distance. But the reason is so that we can get you laying on your back very comfortably between the anchor bar and the wheel itself. There's going to be a lot of times when you're using this anchor system laying down. It's a really cool thing. It approximates a reformer very well. Okay, then we're going to bring our wheel back in, and again, like we showed you earlier. We'll just hook into our coupler here. Okay, we'll work in our coupler here, right? And our Pilates anchored reformer is ready to rock, guys. I think you know what you need to know as far as how to put it together, how to put the anchor system together, how to connect everything up together. So I think we're good that way. Now what I want to talk to you about is how we are going to generally use, address, and safely hold on and utilize the wheel itself, okay? It's kind of important that you are kind of focused in and understanding this. If you don't understand it, please email us at info@thepilateswheel.com because you are going to, or info@enginefitness.com because you need to understand this, and we will do everything we can to make sure that you understand this, okay? So when we address the wheel with our hands, when we are holding on to the foot bar with our hands, we want to make sure, absolutely, that we put these hands on over the top, deep into our palm. We never want to have what we call a false grip and have our thumb over the top. We always want to feel like our thumb is very securely over one side of the bar while our fingers are over the other side, but that our hand is very deep into this foot bar so that when you see my wrist moving down toward this axle, this foot bar right here, it looks like it's going straight directly into the foot bar itself. So what we don't want to see is that wrist broken over on a 90-degree angle and looking like that wrist is going past the foot bar through to the floor. Okay, so it's very important that when you look down and look at your wrist on that foot bar and your hand on that foot bar, it's going directly into the foot bar. One, it's going to be much more comfortable for you to use that way, but secondly, it's a much safer position and a much more controllable position, all right? So once we have gotten that feeling and it feels very tight, we can grip our fingers around it nice and tightly, we feel very secure. What I want you to do is start to learn how to engage the bar so that it kind of pulls into your body. There's a few things we do when we do that. We want to pull our shoulder blades back and down. We always want to be almost in every, unless otherwise, asked in a fitness routine, we almost always want to be in what we call neutral spine. We want to pull the shoulder blades back into our body. We feel like they're sitting up against our back. Our shoulders are back and down. We're in a nice postural position. And then what we want to do is we take that grip. We make sure our forearms are directly into, our wrists are moving directly into the foot bar. And then what I'm going to ask you to do anytime you're using this bar is you're going to try to pull. It's like you're trying to break the bar, okay? So it's like we're taking this and we're pulling our elbows in toward each other, okay? What that's going to do is that's going to cause your upper back to contract. And that's going to make sure that the arms stay tied into the body. Now, why is that important? Well, if I'm in this contracted position, I've turned my elbows, the point of my elbows toward each other, and I'm holding that position. When I move, okay, the Pilates wheel is going to go wherever I go, okay? It's not going to, if I move and I'm not contracted, it's going to stay here. Contract that back, boom, I'm in position. I can control it. That way, when we are safely doing rollouts and coming back to position, we're not going to lose it because we're going to have that good hard contraction in our upper back. So remember, set those hands deep, make sure those wrists are moving into the bar, turn those elbows in toward each other, keep your shoulders down. Very good, safe position when you're addressing this bar with your hands. Now, when you are addressing this bar and you're setting your feet on the foot axle, or the foot bar, you're going to hear Kristen say, keep it in the heel pocket, okay? The heel pocket is that portion of your arch that's just in front of the heel. It's very simple. It should always feel like, excuse my dirty shoes, but it's always going to feel like it's setting deep in your foot. Okay, this is the safest position to be in. You never want to feel like this bar is up on your toes or the ball of your foot. Okay, it's much easier to lose it that way. You'll always be in control of this wheel if you feel like you have it. And oddly enough, if you have it deep in that foot bar, you can control it in either direction. Okay, so if I get up here like this, I can push it and I can pull it, but I have to have it deep in that heel pocket, as Kristen would call it. So make sure that you use those positions when you are using it, and you will always be able to use it safely. Follow your instruction, follow Kristen or I very closely, because that's going to be the best, safest, and most efficient way to train with the Pilates wheel. Thanks guys, continue on.
We are going to stay seated or kneeling. You're going to grab either knob with your hand, so right hand, left hand. You're going to turn the right one towards you, the left one away from you, until they're pretty loose, but we're going to stay holding onto them. While we hold them, we pull them out, keep it out, drop that axle down, let the knobs come in, and turn them. Make sure your axle is locked in place. Hear that click when it gets down there. We're going to tighten them up. Right goes away from us. Left goes towards us. Nice and firm. Okay, we are ready. We take our hands and we grab each knob. The right knob turns away from us, towards us, I'm sorry. The left one turns away from us, and we loosen them up and we keep our hands on them. From here, we're going to turn the wheel hub over so that it's up here. Keep your hands on the knobs, pull them out, and then drop that wheel down and click it in place. Then we're going to screw the knobs back down. Left goes towards you, right goes away from you. And then here we have the wheel in the up axle position.